Something that we especially liked when we first came to town was the look of the old buildings, particularly on Chase Creek Street, which is really so well preserved. It's almost as you're walking up Chase Creek Street, you can feel what it must have been like back in the late 1800s, early 1900s.
Keeping that authentic feel was important to Karen Fry and her husband, who now own the Clifton Hotel.
The first floor was built in 1890, and the person who had the hotel built was Judge Hormeyer, and he was married to a woman named Julia, so it was Judge and Julia Hormeyer. The second floor was built between 1901 and 1902.
Once a Cowboy hotel, it's now beautifully renovated, mingling Old West charm with modern elegance and amenities.
So we did things like, let's blow all this out and let's open up this hallway to make it feel more spacious. And let's make common areas where people can hang out and have their coffee and even work.
Open and airy, you would never know that the 6 studios and 2 suites were originally part of 24 rooms.
They were ideal for miners and the occasional cowboy. Just a bed, doorway to get outside the room, and then out back to smoke a cigarette or whatever. The rooms did not each have their own bathrooms or sinks, so they were really small.
And in keeping true to the time period, Karen and her husband repurposed as much as they could and even bought antique furnishings from local shops.
A lot of them came from Ray's up on Chase Creek Street. We also have some nifty stuff from Granny's attic. We've tried to kind of keep it local and bring stuff from their establishments here. And it's kind of neat because when people say, wow, I like this piece, where'd you get it? Tourists that come in, we send them up to Ray's.
Karen admits the renovation process was pretty ugly to start. The 1983 flood further damaged the already deteriorating building, and it sat empty for nearly 40 years.
Long, arduous, difficult, dangerous. There were bees, scorpions, snakes, bats. In addition to that, because of the water damage from the flood, the wooden floors on the first floor were all falling in. Everything was boarded up. My husband, Matt, actually had to break in, kind of climb over a big pile of silt and go into what is now the bar. And it was completely dark, so they had their phones and looking around, and my husband thought, oh, this is awful, this is way too much work. But then they came around the corner and he saw the old Western staircase, which was, all caving in at that point. But as soon as he saw it, he said, this is an old Western hotel. The reason we came to Clifton in the first place was because we had seen some pictures of the arches on Chase Creek Street, and we'd never been to this part of Arizona.
Karen says they could have just bought a house and come up on weekends.
Or maybe we do something crazy and buy this place and see if we can turn it back into a hotel.
As you can see, they have done a fabulous job. The Clifton Hotel is now on the National Register of Historic Places. There are rumors the hotel is haunted, and Karen herself has a ghost story to share.
Some people say yes, some people don't feel anything. I've never seen anything, but interestingly enough, where the public restrooms are for the bar now, I've smelled perfume there on more than one occasion. And the first time I smelled it, I thought, this is like an old-fashioned perfume. I've smelled cigar smoke in the room where we are right now when nobody was around.
Even our crew says they felt something, but they refuse to talk about it.
It's a great stop-off place if you're either pedaling a bicycle or riding a motorcycle, because right out front is what they used to call the Devil's Highway. And that's a wonderful winding road, beautiful and scenic, that people like to start here and then go up to Alpine, and it's absolutely a beautiful trip. We were just shocked, amazed, delighted to have discovered it for ourselves after living in Arizona for so many years and kind of kicking ourselves, like, why weren't we going to Clifton all this time?